To other issues now, the National Bureau of Statistics has revealed that domestic air transport fares increased by 66.36% in the last 1 year. In its latest report titled, quote, Transport Fare Watch, February 2023, the NBS stated that the average fare paid by air passengers in air travel for specified routes single journey decreased by 0.18% on a month-on-month basis from 74,702 naira 70 kobo in January 2023 to 74,571 naira 62 kobo in February 2023. It, however, rose by 66.36% year-on-year from 44,825 naira 4 kobo in February 2022. The report also indicated that the average fare paid by commuters for bus journeys within cities per drop decreased by 0.47% in February 2023 to 647 naira 66 kobo from 650 naira 70 kobo in January 2023. But on a year-on-year basis, the average fare rose by 26.07%. Joining us to analyze this is Olusegun Kwande, Chairman, Ikeja District Society of ICANN. Good morning and thank you for joining us. Let's begin by getting your take on this NBS statistics that domestic air transport fares increased by 66% in the last 1 year.
Good morning, Bolande, and good morning to all our viewers this morning. Let me start by saying thank God it's Friday, at least the end of the week. I want to say that the increase in the cost of the airline in the last 1 year are basically more of the operating costs. And you look from the economic view, the forces of demand and supply has necessitated that. Don't forget that we started facing this problem of the high and the cost of the air freights after COVID, which we know certain things that were responsible for it. If we look from the perspective of the operating cost, you know, the aviation fuel, we played a prominent role in the way that we make the movement from the airline is being imported. And the basics of we importing this thing is with the use of the foreign exchange, which you and I know what the cost looks like now, because the majority of the people that bring this thing do not have access to the commercial rate from the bank, or rather majority of them, because of the forces of demand and supply on foreign exchange, go through the parallel market to source of fund to get this jet A1 fuel that we use in flying. So you discover that this is actually a problem. I have opportunity of visiting some of these fleet maintenance companies, and you discover that the maintenance being done is actually being moved outside the country. It's just like your car. I'm sure you know routinely there are periods that you must service the airline. Some of these things are done outside the shore of this country because the only company that we saw doing that in Nigeria could not actually withstand the pressure in terms of maintenance. And when you bring that up into your cost as an organization, there is no other you will not increase it. And also, you discover that because of the shortfall in supply, the demand of people that make use of the aircraft, because of the high level of insecurity in the last few years that have bedeviled us as a nation, has increased because you consider that as one of the safest means of transportation. So when you look from the economic part of it, you discover that when your demand outweighs your supply, because you are not increasing the aircraft that is actually being used domestically, then definitely the cost of those things will definitely go up. So these are a few challenges that are responsible for the increase. And I know from your prologue, you said those that actually make use of the road actually reduce. It's responsible in the fact that the demand and supply plays its role there. People have shifted their base from traveling from Lagos to Abuja, which you can do by road, as some of us we do before. But I dare not do that now. I resort to flying all the time. But before now, it's something that you can do by road. So the demand and supply that plays a sense in economics plays another major role for the increase in the cost of flights.
But for you just mentioned the road transport, and we see that for bus intercity per drop, the average fare paid dropped by 0.19%, and you already gave reasons for that. But isn't it quite contradictory, looking at the fact that the price of fuel has gone up, and then we see the price of bus fare dropping according to the statistics?
It's not contradictory. What has played out here is the forces of demand and supply. Like we learn in our basic economics, when your demand will be scarce.
Indeed, looking at the forces of demand and supply, because if you look at the fact that the price of fuel has gone up, one would expect that the bus drivers would also want to hike their prices. But we have our analyst, of course, telling us now that what played out is the fact that demand reduced despite the fact that, you know, the supply was there. And of course, that led to a drop in the price. Shata, are you back with us?
Yeah, I'm with you, Bolanle. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Let's look at your assessment of the impact of this on Nigeria's business economy.
Yeah, the impact is enormous, sincerely speaking. But we can look at it from the other side. And after COVID, the business environment on its own has been redefined by the technological way of having some meetings. I can tell you those days I fly to Abuja in the morning and I return in the evening. But these days you try to do some strategic meeting until maybe when you want to sign a contract, you can agree on some terms, certain things. They're all the technical, the technology devices that we have now, and maybe at the final stage, that is when they require your presence. So you discover that people have devised means, because the cost, if you need to be flying up and down for some of these meetings, will definitely impact on the bottom line of the organization, because like you and I have alluded to, the cost has actually improved. But we want to believe that over time, things will take its proper shape with the introduction of this technological way of having meetings. When the demand on the air flights too drops and people do their businesses majorly online, what happens in the road aspect will definitely be seen having its impact on the airline cost, and it will be a balancing act on the path of the businesses, at least to contribute to the bottom line of what they go on with.
You'd also recall that Nigeria's aviation minister Hadi Sirika had hinted earlier in the month that the controversial national carrier Nigeria Air will commence operation before the swearing in of a new administration come May 29. Do you see this as one of the ways to tackle the plethora of challenges the sector is facing?
Well, I don't see that as a plus, because the basic thing that the current private airline are doing is what E2 will be doing. They need to buy, they are buying a Jet A1 from the same market, except we change the direction of possibly producing it locally at a reduced cost. They will definitely be servicing the airline if it comes to fusion, the same way the other people are doing it, except we create the local content of doing some of those things. So I'm not seeing it as a game changer, but a plus, at least to build the image of the country that we have our own carrier, of which we believe that if this comes to fusion, it will not just be a tick on the part of this administration, but it will be something that will be sustainable after the exit of this administration and the entry of the new one.
But you know, a lot of Nigerians have criticized the start or the commencement of a new career, looking at the fact that what killed the last national career was the fact that corruption was endemic within that system. Do you see that being dealt with this time around?
Well, you know, we have not changed the approach at which we do certain things in the public sector. And that's why certain people like us have been yearning and calling for transparency in the mode of doing things in the civil service. If you're able to correct that anomalies and be able to nip it at the bud, people that are actually causing problems for the nation, I think we'll go far. But if we are still approaching it the same way we are doing it, that's why I said at the beginning of your last question at the tail end that if it is business as usual, the carrier will come, but the sustainability may not be there because you see people just doing whatever they like. So we have asked and request that all our politicians, and that's a call that we have given to them, that they should handle the public service as if it's being run in the private sector, with the focus of saying, even though we are doing certain things as social contract and social responsibility, the bottom line must be to the growth and development of the nation and not individuals that are actually ruling us.
I'd just like to get your final thoughts and also to ask if you see things changing or improving in the coming days, especially with the prediction that Nigerians will begin to pay at least 750 naira for PMS in the coming days when subsidy is removed.
Yeah, well, there's speculation in the air. Don't forget again that by the middle of next month, we've gathered from a reliable source that Dangote Refinery will start its operation, and we consider that as a plus. If what the federal government is working on in the area of improving the crude oil production, which we have seen move from 900,000 barrels per day to about 1.7 million as we speak. If we are able to have it up to 2 million to 2.2 million, the value that will be given to us is that we'll meet our OPEC quota of 1.8 million per day, and the excess of it, which should be considered as wasting, can be pumping into Dangote Refinery and other local refinery that is being worked on, the Port Harcourt, the Warri, that this administration promised to come up. And that on its own will be a plus in reducing the cost of production of that particular thing. And on the global space, reduce the pressure on the foreign exchange that we are actually doing because of the importation of fuel.
Very apt analysis there. We have to wrap up on that note. Thank you so much, Olusegun Okoade, National Chairman, Ikeja District Society of ICANN. Thank you for your time and have a great weekend.
Thank you very much for having me, and lovely weekend to you and all our viewers.
All right, let's pull the plugs on that note. And today's edition, and of course the last edition for the week on Business Breakfast. Many thanks for joining us. My name is Omobolanle Adeshi. From all of us here, have a fantastic weekend.